At this time, I'm going to briefly introduce our 7 candidates, actually 6 I think that are seated, a 7th may join, in alphabetical order. Throughout the evening, you're going to hear more about their backgrounds, their experiences, and their goals for this position. Juanita Cannon, and before I read their bios, if you'll just hold your applause, please, for the sake of time. Juanita Cannon, retired Knox County Schools teacher, former principal at Vine Middle Magnet School. Charlotte Dorsey, retired Knox County Schools administrator with experience as principal, assistant principal, and teacher. John Fugate, vice president with Commercial Bank in Fountain City. Diana Ray, a former community development manager with the Girl Scout Council of the Southern Appalachians. Jennifer Searle, board member with Knox County Schools Clothing Center PTA and longtime school volunteer. And Rick Staples, Knox County Sheriff's Office deputy who oversees inmate rehabilitation programs. All right, I just want to talk about how this is going to play out tonight, talk about some of the rules and housekeeping that we have. Just a moment ago, the candidates took place in a random number drawing. So that drawing determines the order of speaking, also the seating arrangement as you see the candidates in. We're going to ask, I will ask the candidates each 3 questions. We're going to rotate the questions in order in which candidates have drawn. So we'll do 1 question, everyone will answer, then we'll do the 2nd question, everyone will answer, and then the 3rd question. Candidates, you will have 1 minute for opening and closing statements. And closing statements will be reverse order to opening statements. And all responses to questions will be strictly limited to 90 seconds each. Don't worry about keeping track of time because we have Rachel Craig. She is front and center. She has these little time cards that she's going to hold up to let you know where you stand as far as time. Also, we're going to have 1 mic. We'll pass it down between you guys. And let's see what else. We are going to take questions from the audience. Tanya here will be walking up and down. She has index cards and a pencil. If you would like to ask a question, please write it down and hand it to Tanya, please. And just a reminder, please silence your cell phones. I've already silenced my cell phone because it will go off. Also want to let you know that the restrooms are in that door in the back of the room, to the right and to the left. And again, if you'll just hold all applause until after those closing statements. Okay, are you guys ready? We're going to begin with the first question. John Fugate, do you plan to run for the Board of Education position in November?
I have, at first I had plans to do, that, but I have been thinking quite a bit about that, and because of the position I hold in the bank, and the position that I hold on a lot of boards that I serve on, I feel that it would be in the best interest of me and my family to only seek the temporary appointment of this commission.
Juanita Cannon, do you plan to run for the Board of Education position in November?
The answer is no. I have already made commitments to 2 activities or 2 travel plans for the year of 2015. I just want to serve this district and do the best that I can.
Diana Ray, do you plan on running for the Board of Education position in November?
I do not. I'm looking at this as a great opportunity to serve the community, and I have a small child in 1st grade, so this is my opportunity to give back.
I'm one of those undecided people. I ran for the school board in 2010 and was defeated in that election. I have a real passion for education and for the school system that I love. And so I will make that decision, I suppose, depending upon what happens with the appointment process.
All right. Jennifer Searle, do you plan on running for the Board of Education position in November?
I do not. I wish to only serve as an interim. I have 3 children in school and feel that I can best be served as an interim.
All right. Finally, Rick Staples, do you plan on running for the Board of Education position in November?
I'm almost tempted to say yes, simply because this is a great group of individuals right here, and I expected more people to go on the ballot so I could just serve in the interim. And that's a lot of no's coming down the line, so I'm gonna borrow from somebody else. Depending on how the appointment goes, I may put myself on the ballot because we really need somebody to run and serve those 2 years. And now I'm tired because I ran last year, so I hope somebody decides for this panel to run after today. But if not, based on that, I may consider running.
All right, thank you.
How does this mic make it back down, by the way? Do I need to run it down there or do I want to throw it?
Juanita Cannon will begin our second question. What do you hope to accomplish in the 3 months of the appointment?
For the 3 months that the appointment will be made, I hope to accomplish the best for the students all over Knox County, to represent this district to the best of my ability, and to talk with citizens of this area, of this district, and to be a good team player, a good gatekeeper, which means I would have something to bring to the table and to make this one of the best county schools in the world.
Dana Ray, what do you hope to accomplish in this 3 month?
I would say I would hope to accomplish as much communication as needed for the district. And by that, simply answering questions and being the voice for the second district and making sure that I'm in communication with the rest of the board and the issues they are dealing with currently. I just want to make sure that I'm there to be that extra piece of the puzzle to give back and to make sure that it moves forward in this interim.
Charlotte Dorsey will give you a chance to respond. What do you hope to accomplish in the 3 months of the appointment?
I hope to be the voice for the citizens of this district and for the teachers who I know now are really suffering and their morale is low and they need someone to speak up for them. I want to speak up for children. I want to speak up for the students. I want to speak up for the parents. I want to speak up for the community. And I think I can do just that.
Jennifer Searle will give you a chance to respond. What do you hope to accomplish in the 3 months of an appointment?
Well, I share their statements, and I think that bringing all the stakeholders together and making sure that everybody feels that we're all on the same boat together and working toward the best interests of the students is what I would like to do.
Rick Staples will let you respond now. What do you hope to accomplish in the 3 months?
Well, I can echo what's already been said because there seems to be a lack of communication and I dare say trust with our current school board and leadership. So not wanting to act as a rubber stamp, but to be accessible to the constituents of the district and to help put their mind at ease concerning their children and their future and the decisions that are made from the school board.
Yeah, thank you. And finally, John Fugit, we'll get the mic back to you and we'll let you respond. What would you like to accomplish in the 3 months?
Well, 3 months is not a very long time, but I feel like that I could help establish some tranquility on the board and some tranquility among the teachers. I would be an advocate for the students as well as the taxpayers, and I feel like the taxpayers are the ones who are really getting the short end of the deal in some of this stuff. So I really would like to be an advocate for the taxpayers, and after this process is over, continue to be an advocate for those 3 groups.
This will be our third question now. We're going to start with Diana Ray. Diana, what is the most critical need facing our school system?
Reviewing what I have seen in the news and just everything that is going on currently, it seems like communication is key right now. And I feel like there's a lot of negativity. I feel like there's so much positive things going on at the same time. And I think we need open communication as much as possible and for people in the district to have a strong voice for them. Because if we've lost the voice of the children, then we've lost the reason for what the school board is doing.
Charlotte Dorsey will give you a chance to respond. The most critical need facing our school system.
The most critical needs facing our school system is that we need to work together. We need to stop grandstanding. We need to stop the cliques. We need to stop people who are just out self-serving. We're in this for the children. We're in this for achieving excellence, for helping them to become the best that they can be. And when we don't have people working together, supporting each other, when we have a leader who is always a little bit distant and not always listening, I think that that's critical. We're going to have to encourage him and others to let's all work together. Let's do this together. This is for our kids. This is for our future.
Jennifer Searle would like to respond to the most critical need facing our school system.
I think a lot of listening and communication, as the others have identified, would be a good place to start. And like Mr. Fugit said, it's not a lot of time, but trying to make all the teachers and all the administrators feel empowered to do the very best that they can for the students, so that they are able to meet those needs and the children are able to thrive in our schools.
Ms. Staples will let you respond with the most critical need facing our school system.
I think we're facing two things that are just as equal in importance. First of all, we need to stop the mass exodus of teachers leaving Knox County. I don't know of anybody outside of their family members that hasn't been inspired by a teacher to go further or to seek things. Teachers spend more time with our children than we do in most cases. So we need to boost them around with teachers, make them feel more secure in the classroom, because if it's about our children, they need to have individuals in front of them that aren't coming out beat down. Secondly, we need to look at the implementation of Common Core, how we're going to roll that out and make sure we're not putting teachers in a box, almost making them robotic in how they teach, and making sure they're not teaching towards a test, but trying to bring the best out of our students.
John, we'll let you respond. Most critical need facing our school system.
I think several of the issues have been mentioned, but what I think is the most critical issue right now is probably proper communication between the board and the teachers in our schools, so that we can enhance the learning process for our students. I'd like to mention one other thing that I think is equally important, and that is we need to be getting prepared for the influx of the immigrants from our southern borders and from the Middle East that's fixing to be dropped on our doorstep. I think this is an issue that we really, really need to look at.
Finally, Juanita Cannon, the most critical need facing our school system.
I think the most critical need for our system now is whatever is best for the students, the teachers, and the administrators. And that encompasses much. But whatever is best, that would always be my question. Is this best for our students? We are hoping, we want to, we encourage that we turn out productive citizens. And however we can get that done, I think that is the most critical need. Is it about the students?
We've got some questions from the audience now. We're going to ask each candidate to respond to these questions. The question is, Knox County teachers are increasingly frustrated that their concerns have not been heard or addressed. Collaborative conferencing has not been a solution for them. How would you make sure teachers' voices are heard? Charlotte Dorsey, we'll start with you.
As a former principal and consultant to the Tennessee State Department of Education, I was working in high priority schools. And in those schools where teachers work together, where the teams are really aligned and work well together, so many things can be accomplished. The community learning groups, all the things that happen when teachers plan together, they have time to plan together, they can go over what students need to learn. Teachers need time. That's always the big thing. Teachers need adequate time to actually sit down together, to talk together, to plan together. And then we see such marvelous things happen for kids when this does happen.
Jennifer Searle, how would you make sure teachers' voices are heard?
Well, I would be in the schools and make myself available to the teachers and continue to volunteer in the schools, which I do anyway, which gives me an opportunity to see, you know, the inner workings of the school on a day-to-day basis. I think that the teachers need to have an adequate vehicle or a satisfactory vehicle to express their concerns on a continuous basis. And I think that whatever's in place now that is not working needs to be revised and taken a look at so that they do not feel frustrated that their voices are not being heard. Because if a teacher is not empowered, they're not able to be as successful as they can be. That's what we all want.
Staples, how would you make sure teachers' voices are heard?
Just to echo same thoughts, to be present, that's what it takes. If you're present, you're accessible, you can be approached by parents, by the administration, and just work within the district, different activities, PTA meetings, so you can see how things are going. You can see how the students are interacting, and you can actually know for yourself, instead of reading about it in a paper on a blog, what the schools are actually needing and what the concerns are. And therefore, when you're representing them, it's genuine because you're actually aware and you're not just responding to something that you read, you actually know the concerns and see it for yourself.
John Fugate, how would you make sure teachers' voices are heard?
Well, first of all, teachers need to be treated as professionals. Teachers need to be respected for the professionalism that they have. Teachers need to be rewarded for their work. Teachers need to be evaluated fairly. And they need to have a proper avenue to which to discuss their problems and issues without being hindered.
Juanita Cannon, how would you make sure teachers' voices are heard?
Having been assistant principal at several schools and principal at several schools, I think it is very important that teachers feel that they can first talk to the administrator within the building to get some of their issues resolved. After that, I would make myself available by phone, by having community meetings to be heard. I know much is being said on the social media and in the paper. Sometimes I'm not sure that it's factual. And I think it's important to clarify what the concerns are. Where one teacher feels that he or she is not being heard, there are others who feel maybe they are being heard. So first of all, I would like to get the facts, make myself available, and hopefully that the administrators in the building will take time to resolve some of the issues that the teachers have.
Finally, Dinah Ray, how would you make sure teachers' voices are heard?
I'm simply going to be an echo on this. I believe that first and foremost, you just have to make yourself available, whether it's in the schools, on the phone, by email, having coffee, whatever it takes to make sure that you are a positive person for that teacher or parent to come to and make sure that their voices can be heard that way. But I think also, as Rick said, you have to be on top of the issues and make sure that you know exactly what it is that they're dealing with currently so that you can be that voice and you feel like you're strong enough to and aware enough to be able to answer their questions and give feedback.
Our next question is going to start with Jennifer Searle. Do you support the new strategic plan?
I think that the strategic plan has many good points, and I feel that there has also been counterpoints made that are valid, and I hope that some of those concerns can be essentially what I'm saying is that I think that the different voices are not so far apart. I think that there is a common goal, and it is the duty of the board to sort of help piece them all together and provide some guidance and allow them to assess, not assess, but feel that their issues are a part of the strategic plan. And I can't say that I have, I'm on top of every bit of it at this point, but I will review it and I will listen and I will continue to hear from the teachers and staff. I think Tom's expired, right?
Rick Staples, do you support the new strategic plan?
Well, what I support is more dialogue. Being that the strategic plan has to do with how we're going to go forward in the school year, and some of the board members had concerns on it. In my opinion, from what I've read, some of the issues that were needed to be fine-tuned in it needed to have audience, and I don't believe it would have hurt if they would have suspended that vote just for a few more days, 6 days or something, before everybody had a chance to speak and address their concerns. So the strategic plan to me has some good points, needs to be worked on a little bit, but I think there's been some of the issues on the Board of Education that it hadn't been open communication. And it doesn't appear from the outside looking in that everybody's opinions are respected and being communicated properly. So once again, going back to the very beginning of what we discussed earlier, communication, I think everybody here is echoing that, is the key and what we need to work on going forward.
John Fugit, do you support the new strategic plan?
First of all, let me say that I've read this document at least 3 times. And it is a well-written document as far as the literature. But I feel like this document has really fallen short of really what our needs are for the next 5 years. Here are 5 things that I really think that should have been added into this that was not added into it. How are the taxpayers going to support some of these programs and some of the ideas that has been proposed? We need a building program in a lot of areas that is equitable to the whole county. We need to strive to have a much better relationship with our teachers and our administrators throughout the school system. Career technical education is a must for the whole county. We need to really ramp up the efforts for career technical education because we have a lot of students that are going to go to college, but we have a lot of students who are going to go to the workforce and they're not prepared because we don't adequately prepare for the career technical education. The last issue is that as I mentioned before, the immigrant situation. I think in that document,
Sorry, your time is up. Thank you.
there was
We're
$126,000.
going to have to end that right there. I apologize. I just want to be fair and give everyone the same amount of time. Thank you. Juanita Cannon, I'll let you respond. Do you support the new strategic plan?
I view the strategic plan as a roadmap. I have no problems with, I know, the first 3 goals, and that's excellent students. That's what we want from our young people. And how do we get par excellence out of them? We must provide it for them. To invest in our students. I remember when I served on the chamber, one of the most important things we were concerned about at that time was why our students are leaving Knoxville. Once they get an education, they leave. And so I think the investment in our students to stay at home and give back to the community is important. The other part is collaboration with stakeholders. As I recall, there were many opportunities for citizens to give input into the strategic plan. It's like a roadmap. You get so far, you may have to do a detour. Certainly, it can be tweaked. The time and circumstances will make a difference as we move forward.
All right, Diana, do you support the new strategic plan?
I think there's a lot of hard work that has gone into the strategic plan, and therefore I do support it. However, if I'm coming onto this as a voice for the second district, it's something I would take into account by what people are telling me, and I simply want to be the voice for the teachers and the parents of the district. So I do support it, but I'm also open, again, communication between if I were a board member and the second district.
Charlotte Dorsey will let you answer this question. Do you support the new strategic plan?
As a board member, my responsibility is to support the strategic plan once it has been voted in place. We have always had 5-year plans in Knox County. I've worked under quite a few of them. The 3 goals, as we've just said, are very lofty. Every student will be successful and will achieve excellence, provide support for all people, students, teachers, and to partner with our stakeholders. Those are goals that we've always had. They can, as they have said, can be tweaked, can be added to. But my responsibility then is to look at those. The Common Core seems to be at the heart of what's happening right now. The excessive testing, our K through 2 students are being asked to do some things in classrooms that our teachers find are just almost impossible. So I want to be able to be a voice, as I said in my introductory comment, for the citizens here, but I want to be able to speak up as a board member and be supportive of whatever they have chosen to be their plan. I don't think that the board should be divisive and always have someone fighting against that. So I want to be a team player, but I also want to be very cognizant of what is happening in the classrooms with our students and our teachers.
Another question from the audience, I believe we're going to start with Rick Staples for this one. What do you think about the risk of charter schools taking resources away from existing schools?
That's one of those controversial topics that we have here. And I probably would have, if I was on the board at the time, voted against our current charter school that was awarded. Because I think we have great schools already. We have great teachers that we're losing. I just think we need to take the opportunity to look at the schools that we have and are we investing in those completely, 100%. Before you start a charter school, look at the schools that you have in place. Are those needs being met? Are those students being fed educationally before you take on other options? Do you close the door on innovation and progression? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying take care of your own first to make sure that they're getting what they need before you introduce something new, because it would be very difficult to start something brand new and invest everything in that. But then you look and you have areas that are still lacking, okay? So that's my stance on that. So investigating, looking at starting charter schools is fine once we make sure that we're meeting all the needs that we have already.
John Fugit, what do you think about the risk of charter schools taking resources away from existing schools?
Charter schools is a concept that really helps to fill in a lot of the gaps that the local system is not meeting. I think there is a need for some charter schools in certain areas, but not totally. I don't think we really have enough data in on this charter school in our area to make a definitive answer on it.
Lonnie and Cameron, what do you think about the risk of charter schools taking resources away from existing schools?
I served on the National Education Board of Directors and the Tennessee Education Board of Directors. And this has been a concern for 25 years or more. At that time, I was against it because I too felt taking away funds from the public school to do a charter school. There are so many unforeseen situations that, number one, going into the inner city or those who are less fortunate, that certainly is going to reduce the number of teachers in those schools. We're going to take away some of the enrollment. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. I know that there are a lot of political issues around the one that has been approved. I also am aware that there were other charter schools people who are interested in starting a charter school. But I too feel like let's put our resources at home first and bring all of our schools up to par.
Donna Ray, what do you think about the risk of charter schools taking away resources away from existing schools?
I don't see it much as a risk. I think change is hard, and I think it's something, it's helpful for us to try new things within our school system. And I see this as Knoxville moving forward, and it might have some issues as we move forward, but again, it goes back to the people in our district and how they feel about it. And again, I would simply be visiting with them to see how this affects them and if it affects and how they feel it affects our school system.
Charlotte Dorsey, what do you think about the risk of charter schools taking resources away from existing schools?
I agree with Ms. Ray. I don't think there's a really big risk for that. The funds that would come to those students will just be going to them instead of into Knox County. But as John pointed out, these are specialty schools. There are children that can go in a charter school and just soar. And I think that we've seen the Edson project. Some of those were successful, some not. But Knox County Schools has some fantastic things going on within now. We have this Pillsbury State Technology Project, we've got STEM Academy, we've got magnet schools, we've got the new academies for the high schools. So we've got a lot of wonderful things going on. And, but there are still places where some children will do better. And I think that we should give it a chance. I also think that we need to monitor it as a school board. We will have to monitor it very, very closely for achievement, because we've seen what's happened in Union County when our students up there in the visual school are not making adequate progress on their TCAP scores using the Visual Academy. So it's a monitoring thing. We have to, and if it's a problem, then we need to step back and close it. But for right now, I do not find it to be a risk.
Jennifer Searle, what do you think about the risk of charter schools taking resources away from existing schools?
I really wish that, and having my children all go through an urban elementary school, really wish that we would be able to use those dollars in creative ways in the urban schools, and we have done that to some degree with the magnet schools. I understand that the allure of the charter school being able to be a little more nimble and creative. But I think that time has shown that many charter schools run into many difficulties with these children, with staying on course and really raising the bar, the children's learning level. So again, making sure that there are adequate steps in place to pull the money back, that becomes a much more difficult process, I think, once you go with it.
I have another audience question. I believe we're going to start with John. Are we good for this one? Oh, I'm sorry. Did we not start with Rick? No, we did. It's John Keegan, I think, should start this next one.
Can you speak a little closer?
I will. I apologize. I don't want the feedback to bother everyone. John Keegan, your question, and you all will have a chance to respond to this. Again, it's from the audience. To what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon? To what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon?
Well, I have no obligation to continue any of her philosophies or ideas because, you know, I'm an individual and I think as an individual, and my philosophy of education is a little bit different from hers. So why would I want to rubber stamp something that somebody else is doing? Because I am my own person and I have my own set of values and I have my own educational expertise. So, you know, that's the reason I would not do that.
Juanita Cannon, to what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon?
I know that India Kincannon was elected by the people of District 2 and of Knox County. The position she has already taken, there's no need to worry about, do I continue them or not? The position has been taken. I would be willing to listen to those in District 2 to see where you stand and get facts as to what you would like to continue as we move forward.
Diana Ray, to what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon?
I agree with Juanita, and I think her position has been made, and obviously she's done a lot of work in the district already, so I think it's important to know what positions she did take, but again, it's also important to see where we stand with the community during this interim.
Charlotte Dorsey, to what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon?
I'm an independent thinker, both in thinking and in voting. I didn't have Common Core when I was growing up, but I have learned critical thinking and reasoning, and I can do that on my own. I admire Mrs. Kincannon very much. I think she was a wonderful asset to the board. She was a deep thinker. She had her own point of view, and I think she brought a lot to Knox County Schools and Board of Education. But I want to be a person who listens to the District 2 folks. I want to be their voice. And if there are things that she has stood for that you think are inviolable, then I will leave it. What it is the wish of the people, that would be my responsibility to the Board of Education.
Jennifer Searle, to what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon?
Well, I would just say that one of the things as a parent I appreciated that she did for the second district is, I think, improve the communication to the parents and staff, teachers and staff. And I would definitely like to continue that because, as we have mentioned several times, communication is key. And that's one of the things that I think she did really well. And as far as her positions and sort of things, that's, again, those were hers. And again, you look at the roadmap and you deal with what you have in front of you and listen to your constituents and make the best choices that you can for them.
Craig Staples, to what extent would you feel obligated to continue positions taken by India Kincannon?
Well, what I've ever gathered from Ms. Kincannon was she was an individual that stood on her own, and I think whoever takes her place, that's what she would want to see. I respect her obligation to the community and the people she serves. She took it seriously. I would remember her on that. Also seeing her work and be active in the community. She was an individual that was constantly checked in to what her constituents wanted. And so, in looking at that, I would remember her on that. But coming in, if I serve 3 months or 2 years with the help of the Lord, I would just kind of stand my own ground and make sure I'm checked in with the people I serve.
Another audience question. We start with Juanita Cannon. Are there specific school concerns in the 2nd District?
Are there specific school concerns?
In the 2nd District?
I'm not going to make any comment along that line because I haven't had the opportunity to talk to individuals at the school, the principals and the teachers. However, I would be available to find out if there were specific concerns.
Diana Ray, are there specific school concerns in the second district?
I agree with Juanita. I think for me, it would be listening to what the constituents say, what they believe to be the current issues, if there are with schools in the second district.
Charlotte Dorsey, are there specific school concerns in the second district?
I'm not really knowledgeable of a lot of concerns. I did work for the State Department at INSKIP, which was a lovely little school, but INSKIP is just in a terrible situation with all of the children being out in portable structures. So that's just an observation that I have made. The kids there seem to do okay with it. The teachers, like always, teachers, they will make do. They always make do. But, you know, when I would see that the kids were all scattered out all over the place, they couldn't even come in, you know, to be in an assembly all together. I see INSKIP as an issue that I would like to see something done about. As far as the others, I think there's been a lot of good things going on. Belle Morris has got this wonderful new addition. They're working at Shannondale. I've seen just a lot of really good things going on. So I would like to hear from other schools to tell me, what are your concerns? What would you like for your school in your particular area?
Jennifer Searle, are there specific school concerns in the second district?
I think that the teachers, again, have issues about the implementation of a lot of the things that have been rolled out over the last couple of years. And I would like to, while keeping our eye on the goal of the strategic plan and the lofty goals, make sure that we're not running over anybody with the implementation of those. My experience in the inner city schools is that it mirrors our community's problems. When you have children that are in 5 different elementary schools during the year, and that's, you know, the population in the school they can lose like half of their population and still end up at the same place as the year. It's mind-boggling to me how teachers are able to manage that and keep these children on task and incorporate all that uncertainty that those children bring to that classroom. And that's a community issue that is concentrated in that life, in that school, in that classroom. Sorry, the little signs disrupt me. But I just think that is a significant issue that is not.
Sorry, your time's up. Thank you. Rick Staples, are there specific school concerns in the second district?
Some of the concerns that I've seen within the district is I would like an assessment taken of the bus stops. I think the district needs safer bus stops that our children get off and get on at with some of the traffic that goes through there. Maybe with some sort of signage or whatnot, letting people know that that's a bus stop for our kids. Updates to some of the structures, the schools we have in the second district. We have a lot of older schools in the second district, and while we're looking at putting monies in other areas, I think some of the schools could use a little facelift and address that in the budget at some point. I really would push. I'd like to see that. And being in law enforcement, let me say I recently resigned from the sheriff's office, but I did work with a lot of the students that came in from the second district schools. Unfortunately, in the second district, there's been a lot of our children lost to gun violence. That's something that needs to be addressed in our district. And not only that, once they graduate, they run afoul of the law, and they end up coming to jail with absolutely no skill set. So we need to look at the biggest concern for me is the safety of our kids, the type of skill set that they're coming out with, and to address the issues with them entering gangs.
John Fugit, are there specific school concerns in the second district?
Yes, there is. I've been in most of the schools in this district, and we need a little facelift in some of the schools. I serve on the advisory board of Gresham School and involved in the Shannondale Foundation. We found out here in Gresham that they've got a beautiful lab for a technology lab, but their computers are outdated, so that is one critical area that they need. But even though our schools are older in this district, I've been in these schools, and these schools are alive with education, with the learning facilities, the vibrance of the teachers. And I just think we need to continue to support our teachers and to let the teachers know how much we appreciate them for the wonderful job that they're doing.
Another audience question coming, I think Diana, we're going to start with you. The question is, if you are not named to this seat, how will you support improvements to our schools?
I think simply being a parent of a child in the school system, that's the best way I can support the person that gets this position, to be a voice and be active within the community, not just somebody watching from the sidelines, but somebody being active within the district and being a support to that person and to the board.
By the way, this is going to be the last question. We want to give the candidates a chance to make some closing statements before we dismiss tonight. Charlotte Dorsey, if you are not named to this seat, how will you support improvements to our schools?
I have been a member of the Shannondale Foundation as well. Love that little school. My boys went there and under Mrs. Fox, and my boys went to Gresham School here, and my boys went to Central High School, and my grandchildren go to Gibbs High School in Holston. So I support all of their activities. But as a member of the board, my responsibility is not just for District 2, although that's a priority. My responsibility is for all schools. So I try to participate. I talk with teachers. I talk with friends of mine. I am on the board at Imes Nature Center. So I support educational programs for children who are part of Knox County schools that go there all the time. I will always be active in the community until the good Lord takes me home.
Jennifer Searle, if you are not named to this seat, how will you support improvements to our schools?
I will continue to volunteer at all the schools, all my schools that my children attend. And I just think that there's a place for every community member to be a part of the school system, and whatever that is. We don't all win the lotto and can't all give large sums of money to the Teacher Supply Depot, but there is something that we can all do, and there are great community members that donate in so many different ways, and that's what makes our school system strong and vibrant, and how we meet so many needs in this community. So, and I also serve on the community, the Clothing Center board. So.
Rick Staples, if you are not named to this seat, how will you support improvements to our schools?
Just remaining, I'm already active in the community, have been for years. I'll continue to do that. I think whoever is placed, first and foremost, you need to support that individual that's elected, be it interim or for the 2 years, support them 100%, and continue to be aware as a resident and a constituent in the 2nd District. Just don't go away quietly in that good night. There's some issues going forward, and whoever is elected to that position, selected to that position, is going to need help and support. So nobody does anything by themselves. Just continue to help whoever's in there.
John Fugit, if you are not named to this seat, how will you support improvements to our schools?
Well, if I'm not named to this seat, I'll still go to work every morning and still do the things that I do. I support the chamber, not the chamber, but I support the Fountain City BNP. We give money to to the local schools each year and scholarships. I will continue to serve on the Gresham Advisory Board. I'll continue to support that. I'll continue to support the Shenandoah schools. My grandchildren are going to these schools, and of course I'm going to support them whether I'm on the board or whether I'm not. And I also will support whoever takes this position. And so, you know, I'm a citizen of the community, and I'm going to continue to be a citizen of the community and support the things that are happening in this community.
Juanita Cannon, if you are not named to this seat, how will you support improvements to our schools?
I would continue to do the work that I have done, continue to do the work that I am doing. I work with the Urban League, with the National Achievers Society. I've served on the Friends of Literacy Board. I have served on the Imagination Library Board, and I'm saying all of that to say they are our students. I just completed an international committee working with young girls 6th through the 8th grade on emerging young leaders. So I will continue to work in Knoxville, Knox County, any way I can to make sure that our students get the very best.
Okay, we're going to do closing statements now. I think we're going to start with Rick Staples. We're going to go into ascending order now. You'll have 1 minute for your closing statement.
Well, yeah, I want to say, first of all, I appreciate being up here. I'm a little humble about the quality of individuals that I'm sitting up here with. I'm excited as well about these individuals I'm up here with because it's exciting for the district that we have good people that want to serve, and that's hard to find people to step up and serve. And I believe everybody up here is genuine. Your hands are full out there. I don't know who you're going to pick. Good luck to you. But I want to say that if I'm chosen, I have a heart for service. And I'm a listener. And I'm willing to listen, eager to serve. I know there are some tremendous needs to be met, but I'm not scared of hard work. And, you know, Knoxville's done a lot for me. Knox County has done a lot for me. So I don't have an issue with giving you 3 months. And if it comes
Sorry,
across,
time is up. Thank
I'll
you.
have a problem giving you 2 years.
Jennifer Searle, your closing statements.
Thank you. I too am like really proud to be among this group and humbled. I think that you have great choices, and it's a great thing that you all have all the work that you've done in the past and are will do in the future. And I just would like to say that I hope that you choose somebody that will just caretake the position and allow the people to vote in November on who they would like to select. And since I swim in the pool of school all day, every day, and that is my life, I feel that I can step in and have a viewpoint of a parent who is, you know, impacted by these decisions on a daily basis, and that would be about it.
Sorry, your time is up.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I really do believe that I can bring a lot to the table. I have worked with difficult people. I've worked with community leaders. I have worked with the businesses. I've worked with lots of different teachers, lots of different children, and lots of unique situations. I think I have a background that can bring a lot to the table here. I will work well, I think, both with the county commission and with the board. I will not be a person that takes sides without very, very thoughtful consideration. I am not a person that will be an activist, and I'm not going to be a conspirator. I will be a person that will serve you well.
As someone who served in the Peace Corps, I've had the opportunity to see school systems at some pretty low points in underserved countries and undeveloped country. And then coming here and working for the Girl Scouts and getting to see the school system as an outsider, as somebody who serves the school system as an organization. I had the opportunity to see little girls who would stand in line waiting for somebody to volunteer for them to be a Girl Scout. And so that's how I know how important it is for me to be up here volunteering for my community. The community matters to me, these schools matter to me, because I do have a first grader in school, and I also have 2 small children that will be in the school system, which means it affects my child, and then it also affects my family. So I look forward to being a voice to the 2nd District and serving them the best way possible in this interim.
Juanita Cannon?
I am a citizen of the 2nd District. I've been in this area for 26 years. My son attended Belmars, Whittle Springs, and Fulton. Not only have I been involved with the school system, even as an adjunct professor for LMU, I was able to get into the schools in the 2nd District. But my period with KCDC takes it outside the realm of, quote, the school system. We were able to provide quality homes, quality housing for the students in this district. You take Christianberry and Lonsdale, those students are zoned. And so to wake up in the morning and have a good place to live and to say that you're part of it. I will be a good gatekeeper. I would respectfully ask that the commissioners allow the citizens of District 2 to elect the permanent school board member.
Sorry, you're out of time. John, if you could.
Thank you for the opportunity to come in here tonight, speaking to you all. I think that I have a unique set of skills based upon my educational background and the fact that I've been in business, worked in the financial institutions as well as run businesses of my own. I have a background that will help me to make proper decisions based upon facts, based upon looking at things from a different perspective. And last of all, I would like to say that I certainly want to be an advocate for the students, the teachers, the parents, and the taxpayers. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you, and I just on a personal note want to thank each of you for giving your time tonight, being willing to serve in our community, and making education a priority. Thank you guys so much. And all of you are very, very good, so thank you. And just a reminder to you all that the commission will make their decision Monday, the 25th. They want to hear from you. So if you have an opinion, if you have a preference, talk to your commissioner. They will make this decision. And of course, that person will serve until November 4th election, at which time District 2 voters will vote for their choice for school board representative.